It's now been nearly 2 months since Orna and Ronen Neutra discovered the fate of their 21-year-old son, Omer Neutra. The American-Israeli lone soldier abducted into Gaza on October 7th was believed to be held hostage alive until intelligence revealed that he had been killed during the October 7th terror onslaught. Now, Orna and Ronen are continuing to forge forward in their grief to bring all the hostages home, dead or alive. And we are now joined by Omer, Orna and Ronen, who are in New York. Good evening, good afternoon to you, and thank you for being here. I have not seen or spoken to you since you got this tragic news. First of all, how are you holding up in light of everything?
It's been very difficult. It's been extremely difficult to fight for Omer, thinking that he's alive, and receiving the notice after 422 days, Emily, was devastating. That's something we're going to have to grapple with and learn how to live with for the rest of our lives. But as of now, nothing has changed. We don't have Omer. He's not been returned. Hamas is still holding on to him. Yes, we were notified on day 422 that he's no longer alive, but we still need to get him back. He deserves a proper burial. He fought for the state of Israel, and he deserves to be buried honorably.
Yes, he sure does. And do you feel, given that we, are bringing the hostages back again, it's an ebb and flow, up and down with Romy, Emily, and Doron coming back. There's still a lot that we don't know, just even get through this first phase, and then there are other phases to bring back more hostages. Are you able to feel a sense of hope that Omer's body will come back so you can give him that honorable, proper burial?
Without a doubt, the fact that the deal has been struck and we started to see hostages coming back. We were thrilled together with everybody around the world to see the 3 women coming back. It's not a good deal. It's a deal with the devil. And it's a deal that was constructed in a way that it's going to be so difficult for all of us. 3 people at a time, every week. But that's the deal on the table. And speaking to the Trump administration officials, they agree that the deal has to be shortened, and somehow their intention is to try and reconstruct it and make it a shorter, more concise, and try to make sure that we move into the second stage, which at least at this point, our son, together with the young man and the deceased and remains, are going to be coming out. So there's so many more left, 94 people, and this deal is so fragile. We have to make sure it goes through.
Yeah. You've been nonstop lobbying, traveling the world, powering through this horrendous nightmare. You were at the inauguration, and you were part of this inaugural, what do they call it, the inaugural parade, where you had a chance to get called up with Trump and other hostage families. I know it's difficult to speak to him on Inauguration Day, but were you able to exchange words with him at all?
Yes, actually, we were treated with a lot of respect. We were a group of American families, Israeli families, and 2 returning hostages. We were all invited to the event, and Mr. Steve Witkoff spoke from the stage and detailed his attempts and his efforts in the region to push through the deal, and success so far, and his intentions to continue with the deal. And then we were all invited to join on the stage where the president and his family and other elected officials were on stage. And we each got to a few moments with the president. He shared his condolences with us, and he understood and was committed to continuing with the deal all the way through to bring all the hostages back, the living and the deceased, for proper burial.
Does he, I mean, again, it was busy, it was Inauguration Day, but does he seem like he's really familiar with Omer's situation specifically, given the fact that he is an American, also like Ruby Chen, who, you know, the Chens obviously as well want to be able to properly bury their sons? Did you get that sense?
Of course, we share similar stories with the Chen family. Our sons both fought with the tanks and rushed to the border to trying to defend Israel. And both families were told our children were killed on October 7th. President Trump called us during Shiva 6 weeks ago, so he's familiar with our story. He's familiar with the latest news that we got on Omer. Of course, he has a lot on his mind. So everything with 94 hostages and 7 of them are American. I'm sure the details are not easy for him to remember, but he recognized. And I think the overall feeling we got, the fact that you know, they put us all on the main stage and had all the crowd cheer for us, just show the level of commitment. And in a way, this is not something you do if you don't want to go through a deal. This is a proof that he really cares, and it's a proof that his administration will put the utmost pressure on the parties in the region to go through the different stages. But he did mention that this is not a United States war. So that's also a fact. And we heard from Steve Witkoff is preparing to go to the region, and he's preparing to put himself in the front line, making sure that this first stage of the deal goes through, almost like a person that will check that both sides are keeping their commitments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, you know, just by speaking to Steve, we know how much he's committed. Mr. Witkoff even shared with us a moment with his mother, 92-year-old, wonderful person. And we just we see a big difference, and we know that there is a true personal commitment from his and also from his team to bring our son back and the rest of the hostages.
That must be very comforting, and of course comforting to be there and to be, you know, applauded and welcomed in a warm environment when we've seen how the world has reacted in the past year plus since October 7th. Do you have any idea or any information about his whereabouts, if he's with some of the other hostages? Is there anything at all that you know?
You know, the intelligence shares information with the families that's, you know, it's not shared with everyone. So we know that they have somewhat of an idea, but they don't share too much, you know, because it risks the hostages and any effort, you know, to release them. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Orna and Ronen, thank you so much for being here. And as always, we're going to be praying and wishing you the best of luck in getting through this very, very, very difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. And I just want to add that, you know, we were in Shiva in the United States, and we saw how much pain and how the American jury also understand that this hostage issue is such an open wound, both in the Jewish society, but also in the Israeli one. And everybody understands that that's the key for our resilience as people. And I think the Trump administration understand that it's not a political issue. This is really humanitarian and a serious way to make Israel strong. And we have to defeat all the evil forces that are trying to break this deal. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to continue to try to send you good energy and Keep fighting the good fight as you are doing. Little did you know you'd be thrown into the global stage like this. So you're handling it like champs in spite of everything.
Thank you.